Chanel came to church and she served me with restraining order papers.
2 days after the altercation, I was pulled over for driving a vehicle that had been reported stolen.
You two have confessed to some interesting felonies.
All rise for Judge Joe Brown.
Whoa!
Experience, knowledge, and a passion for the truth.
I'm protecting womanhood and promoting manhood.
Bringing no-nonsense justice to Americans everywhere.
If you listen, you may learn something.
It's time for Judge Joe.
A woman's DMV scheme blows up in her face. Personal assistant Chanel Valentine is suing her former friend for bail and the value of a vehicle. Defendant Rakita Wright is countersuing for unpaid parking tickets. Now, here's Judge Joe Brown.
Let's see, Miss Valentine.
Yes, sir.
Would appear that you're claiming that the defendant, Miss Wright, is responsible for you being arrested pursuant to a false report, and she should be liable for the consequential damages and also for bail money that you were forced to put up as a result of the arrest.
Yes.
You deny liability, Miss Wright. You say not only should you not be liable to the plaintiff, she should be liable to you for stealing your automobile, putting tickets on that car that are in your name, and compromising your driving record,
That
right?
is correct.
You first, ma'am.
I am here because I have owned a Mazda 626 for the last 3.5 years. I have an issue with tickets. I am a ticket magnet. I have had multiple tickets on the car.
Anything from smile, you're on camera, to parking citations, right?
Yes. The car in question had caused me a lot of...
What is the vehicle?
The vehicle is in Miss Rakita Wright's possession.
Not where, what?
What is the vehicle? Mazda 626.
What year?
4-door, 93. The car was originally my car, has always been my car. I came to Rakita as a friend, and I asked her in the month of October if she would do a favor for me, put the car in her name, which would give me time to pay the parking tickets.
Hold on, hold on. So you wanted the defendant to put the vehicle in her name, register the vehicle in her name, so effectively the citations would evaporate.
No, they wouldn't evaporate. I am currently on a payment plan with the Parking Citation Department.
Now.
And it would just, even then, and it was giving me time to actually pay all the tickets to avoid the car being towed or booted. So what I thought it was buying myself time to pay the tickets. The ticket was always owned and operated by myself. In October, Rakita and I went to the DMV. She put the car in her name. The car stayed in my possession until February 24th.
Mm-hmm.
On February 22nd, we were both at church. She pulled me to the side after church, and she began an altercation in front of the church.
Altercation?
Yeah, she started yelling with a friend of hers, calling me everything in front of the church but a child of God.
I would never do this in front of church.
Oh, yes,
I have witness statements.
Oh, yes, you would. Ain't nothing new. Go ahead.
She continued to argue with me. I told her I'm not going to argue with you right out here in front of the church. You can call my phone, we can talk about it.
And I tried calling your phone.
She then said, I know what to do. Threatened to call the police. I left, it was my son's birthday. We went on about our day. 2 days later, I was doing as I normally do, got up, took my son to school. Right after I dropped him off at school, I was pulled over by the police department for driving a stolen vehicle that had been reported stolen the day before. So she reported the car stolen, knowing that its original intention for the car being in her name, the pretenses of the car was it never to be sold to her or given to her. She was supposedly doing me a favor. The very next day after she reported the car stolen, unbeknownst to me, I went down to the courthouse to take care of the ticket.
I heard that part.
No, I went down to the courthouse to take care of the ticket.
Oh, another one.
That she's claiming that I immediately got on the car while I was driving the car. I took care of that particular ticket.
While the car was stolen.
Go ahead.
So, I was pulled over on the 26th at 10 a.m. I was arrested. She came to the site where they arrested me. I was sitting in the backseat of the car. Her and her girlfriend. Her girlfriend drove off with my car because she did show up on the scene. She is the rightful owner of the car. She did possess the pink slip to the car. But the pretense is that she reported the car stolen was all completely, absolutely false, and she did it with malice. I went to jail. I had to bail out of $2,000 for bail. The contents of the car that I've had for 3 years, I literally had a plethora of things in my car. I lived in my car.
Yes.
So there was a number of things.
Veritable home away from home.
My home away from home. I had people calling her while I was in the jail for the 7 hours that I was in jail, asking her to, if nothing else, please drop off the child's car seat. That never happened. So I've never seen the car again or any of the contents since she took the car on the 26th. I have had to borrow money from friends for bail money. I am out of a car. I'm out of the contents of the things that are inside of the car, and I'm in a pretty much worse position than I was before I even asked her to do any of this for me.
You made out a prima facie case, all right. Madam Defendant.
Okay, back in September, I bought the car from Chanel.
How much did you pay for it?
$1,450.
She never paid me anything for my car at any time.
$1,450 in cash.
How
I
did you
paid to
pay
Chanel in cash.
Cash?
Yes.
She did not pay me anything
Federal
in
Reserve
cash.
notes I gave her.
Federal Reserve, wait a minute,
Yes, of course. Okay, so I bought the car from Chanel. Sometime around December, the car broke down. So I didn't have the money at the time.
Hold on, be quiet.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Now, you say the car was no longer in front of your friend's house.
Right, the car was no longer parked where I left the car. So I instantly assumed that maybe the car had been towed, you know, from the city of Oakland, being that it had been parked there for some amount of time.
Keep going.
So once I noticed that the car was missing, I called the Oakland Police Department to see if the car had been towed. So once they told me that the car had not been towed, I said then that I wanted to report my car stolen. So I had an officer. Yes. Officers came out, and I made a stolen report. So that was February the 24th when I reported the car stolen. On the 26th.
February 24th?
Yes.
Just what was the date of the Smile You're On Candid camera picture?
It was January the 15th.
There you go. We need some of that Twilight Zone music.
We'll be right back with Judge Joe Brown.
She takes off running. There was no incident. We never had any verbal conversation.
So she served a restraining order on you at church?
She served a restraining order on me at church.
The restraining order was never filed until after I was arrested.
And later today.
So you break up?
Yes, Your Honor.
I take it that your theory is that he gave your wedding dress, your boots, and the rest of your stuff to his new girlfriend to wear since she is the same size.
Not the wedding dress.
Not the wedding dress, but all the rest of your stuff.
Yes, I have the wedding dress.
It's Joe time after this.
We're back with Judge Joe Brown. The defendant in this case says the car she bought from the plaintiff broke down, then disappeared, so she reported it stolen. The situation led to some parking tickets and an argument with the plaintiff in front of their church. Let's take a look.
Go ahead.
Okay, so once I noticed that the car was missing, I did make the report.
I
said, I assumed that the car had been towed because it was abandoned.
1 whole month and 20 days after it got taken, about 17 days after you found out there was the smile on the pole camera that took the picture. Couple of days, 3-4 days left, less than that from the confrontation in the church parking lot. Keep going.
Okay, so the altercation actually taking place the day Chanel came to church and she served me with restraining order papers.
So, all righty, keep going.
Okay, so once I was then served with the restraining order, I go up to Chanel, and this is when we have the altercation. I say to her, why are you serving me with this restraining order at church?
That is not true.
She takes off running. There was no incident. We never had any verbal conversation.
So she served a restraining order on you at church?
She served the restraining order on me at church.
The restraining order was never filed until after I was arrested. The restraining order was filed on the 2nd of March.
May I ask you both why you're here?
I'm here to be recompensed for everything that I am out because of her lies.
Why are you here? Look, let me tell you something. To evade the application of California law, you falsely and fraudulently transferred title to the defendant. And you want damages. That means you've got very dirty hands. You've perjured yourself very badly and claimed to have purchased this vehicle when you did not. Now, you two have confessed to some interesting felonies. Tonight, both of you have fun getting back to the Bay Area.
Courtroom is now in recess.
The defendant says she paid cash for the vehicle, then abandoned it, got into a fight with the plaintiff, then reported it stolen. Sounds like spite, but the plaintiff is no angel. Case dismissed. Now, on to the next case.
Please raise your right hand.
Nanny Jennifer Lovestrand is suing her former fiance for a wedding dress, rental car, and missing property. Defendant Andre Chesla says he is not responsible.
Now, ma'am, I take it you two had a relationship.
We were engaged.
All right, so he goes and moves into his property, residential property, and you move in with him. Is that right?
Yes, he asked me a week after Christmas.
Now, at some point in your relationship, which lasted about a year or so, is that right? It was determined that we were going to discuss the issue of marriage.
Correct.
Now, you, sir, I believe, put a condition on that. I believe in your answer it was that she must secure employment. Is that correct?
Yes.
You got a job, right?
Yes, I had a job.
What happens after that?
After that, he proposed, and then we decided.
Well, I know he proposed.
We decided to spend the next day together, and I called out of work. I lost the job.
He says you got fired. He has a slightly different version of facts. Okay, now,
Yes.
I take it you buy a wedding dress, right?
Correct. Not that next day.
Not that day, but eventually, before you two break up, you buy a wedding dress, right?
Correct.
All right. Now, you still have it.
Yes.
All right. Now, you give me a sworn statement of account relative to items you say are subject to his conversion. One wedding dress, one, is it a diamond tennis bracelet?
Correct.
One laptop computer,
Correct.
one pair of Ugg boots,
Correct.
and one rental car for 1 week, right?
Correct.
Okay, now, at some point in time, you two have difficulties, and I take it you call the police one evening, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, what happens when the police get there? Oh, or you weren't there when they got there.
I left.
You left.
I left. Because
So
I
you
was
leave the
uncomfortable.
place.
Yes, I was uncomfortable, and I left.
Now, you say the next day, for some reason, out of the clear blue sky, an officer called you and told
No,
you...
it was an hour after that.
Hour after, called you and told you you didn't have to leave. He'd have to get an FED to get you out of there, right?
Correct.
You, sir, answer it relative to that point that you let her in to get her stuff and then she left, right?
No, it didn't happen that way.
What's that?
It didn't
Well,
happen.
did he let you back in the next
Well,
day?
I came back Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. The locks were changed on
No,
Wednesday.
when did the locks get changed?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, all right. So you came back Saturday,
Your Honor,
Monday,
those are 2 months
Sunday,
later,
Monday,
actually.
Tuesday, and the locks were changed on Wednesday.
Correct.
I'm just trying to make sure that I get
We're watching
these
court in
issues
session,
out
and we
there.
want to find out what the people are thinking. So we asked the gallery to vote to tell us if they think the plaintiff is making her case. We'll be back with those results a little bit later.
What you allege, in essence, is that she never was a tenant and had no status as a tenant.
Yes.
You say that you took her stuff, put it in storage, and you changed the locks. You say you came over there Wednesday, I believe
After
it
work.
was, and there was a note on the door that the locks had been changed and you were given the address as to where your property was stored, right?
Correct.
I take it that your theory is that he gave your wedding dress, your boots, and the rest of your stuff to his new girlfriend to wear since she is
Not-
the same size.
Not the wedding dress.
Not the wedding dress,
I
but
have
all the
wedding
rest of your
dress.
stuff.
Yes, I have the wedding dress.
You have the wedding dress.
I have the wedding dress.
Well, now,
just,
your complaint specifically alleges in your itemized sworn accounting is that he owes you
the $450.
$504.91 for, I thought, conversion of the wedding dress. So you're saying that he should reimburse you for having purchased a wedding dress that you can't use.
Correct.
We'll be back with more Judge Joe Brown in a moment.
After we got engaged, next day she told me when we spent the day together that she got fired. She didn't have a job the day she moved in with me, which was in January, because she lost the apartment. She got evicted from it.
Absolutely not true.
Closed captioning sponsored by.
We're back with Judge Joe Brown. The plaintiff in this case says she was living with her fiance when he proposed and promised to take care of her. She says the engagement was called off because she lost her job. Then the defendant locked her out and wouldn't return her things. Earlier, we asked the gallery if they thought the plaintiff was making her case. 51% thought that she was, while 49% did not. Now, let's see what the judge thinks.
What problems did you have with the arrangement, engagement you two had reached relative to this employment issue?
Well, after we got engaged, next day she told me when we spent the day together that she got fired. So I told her you can get a job.
Did you know she was going to call in and say, I can't go to work today?
No, I did not.
That's absolutely not
Now,
true.
was she regularly employed during the course of your relationship?
No.
Yes, I was.
She didn't have a job the day she moved in with me, which was in January, because she lost the apartment. She got evicted from it.
Absolutely not true.
So she moved in with me. After a while, she found a job. She had it for a while, so I proposed to her. Next day, she said that she lost the job, so I told her
Well, I
she
find
can
it interesting. You say she had a job for a while. From her statement, she got the job, told you she got the job, same day she told
No, that was
you
for
you
2-3
proposed.
weeks.
How many jobs did you have?
One. It was
Just
one
one?
job. I moved in there in January, and I got hired in March. I stayed there March, April, May, June, and I got fired June 23rd.
Did you or did you not have a problem with a motor vehicle involving your stepfather as a co-signer?
Correct. They took the vehicle from...
Why did they take the vehicle?
Because
She
at
wasn't paying the bills for it.
at the point of when I moved in with Andre Tesla, he told me specifically, do not, just get out everything organized in the condo, and please.
Now, you're trying to tell me that he didn't want you to work.
Correct.
He wanted you to stay home with no income and to let the car go.
He said, let your parents take the car. It's not a big deal. I have 2 cars. You can use the truck.
And you say specifically he didn't want you to work.
No, I'm just saying he would take the truck key here and there. Say if I had an interview or whatever after the job I lost in when we got engaged. That following week after we got engaged, I started looking for more employment, and he would take the truck key out of spite,
His version of facts is why waste gas if you're not going to go try to get employment or work?
No, it's called looking for employment. He specifically said, we're getting engaged. We're going to spend the rest of our lives together. There's no point of having 3 cars. I have a work van. You can use the truck. Just give the car.
Her mother took the car before we got engaged. There was a month after she moved in, actually. So.
No, actually, it wasn't.
So you break up?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge Joe Brown makes his ruling after this.
Did an ex leave you for someone else and it's costing you? Call 877-JOE'S-LAW or visit JudgeJoeBrown.com.
Back to this other situation. He does not have to pay you for that wedding dress because you still have it. Next time you get engaged, if you do the right thing, and it's the right one, you got a wedding dress. Probably save yourself some money. It costs more then than now. The next thing is you suggest that he's letting his new girlfriend wear your Ugg boots and other stuff because you're the same size. Let me put it to you this way. Being much more advanced in life and familiarity with human nature, and I'll be damned if she wants to wear your Ugg boots and other accessories. So that ain't human nature. So he sounds straight up enough to me. You do too. I think what you maybe need to do is take a good look at what's in that storage facility and see if you can find it.
Nope.
So your complaint's denied.
This courtroom is now in recess.
Good news is they called it off before the big day. Obviously, they each have a different perspective over what went wrong. The plaintiff could not prove that her ex was hiding or using her property. Her case is dismissed. We'll be right back. We're back. The plaintiff says her ex was adamant about her having a job. She says she tried to accommodate all of his rules for living together, but they fought anyway. The judge says she moved in but had no lease and can't prove her damages.
To submit your case to Judge Joe Brown or to find out how the law can work for you, go to judgejoebrown.com.